A very happy evening, one and all. A very warm welcome to our Leaders Connect 360's episode, LC0199. And I'm so excited. We are reaching our 200th episode next week. A quick introduction to those who are here for the first time. Leaders Connect 360 Foundation is a CSR initiative of Bija training organized by the Mask Leadership. I'm Raghavi Lakshmanan. I'm an NLP life coach, NLP practitioner and trainer. I'm also a gold certified OBT trainer and facilitator. Every Wednesday, we meet virtually on Zoom at 6:30. It goes up to 7:15 to gain knowledge from our top management leaders. Once in a quarter, we have our offline meetings in major cities, including Chennai, Bangalore, and recently we also start in Hyderabad and Bombay. That's when we call it Leaders Create More Leaders. A warm welcome to our special guest, Dr. Raghavi Senthil Kumar, Founder Director, the Headway Academy and Foundation, and panel discussion leader, Mr. Raj Kumar, Happy Arm Corporate Training Solutions. And we are here for a very interesting and important topic, Delegation Vs Empowerment. I also welcome Mr. Pankaj. He is the managing partner of Bija Training. He will also interact with our guest and panel discussion leader. While you all will be muted now, let's show our participation by having our videos on. You will be able to discuss with the chief guest after the panel discussion. So let's all welcome Pankaj and the guest and our panel discussion leader with a thumbs up or a smiley in our chat box. Stay connected with Leaders Connect in our social media platforms too. The links will be shared in the chat box. Thank you. Over to you, Pankaj.
Thank you so much, Ms. Alagu. Good evening, everyone. I welcome you all on behalf of Bija Training, the Mass Leadership and Leaders Connect. Happy evening to all. And I thank you all for taking your time and being part of this community called Leaders Connect. So before we move forward, I would like to welcome officially our guest today, Dr. Raghavi, to the forum. And yes, the topic itself is very interesting. It's called Delegation versus Empowerment. What I understand is, there's a thin line which differentiates this both, right? So today we are going to have a better understanding that what does it mean in terms of delegation and what does it mean empowerment, right? So that's what we are going to learn from her today. And I would also like to welcome our panel discussion leader, Mr. Aram Rajkumar. Okay, so he is going to be our panel discussion leader who's going to have a discussion with our guest today. So before I get you on the forum, I would like to welcome you officially through a mode of a welcome video. So Arul, can we have the welcome video, please? Welcome, Dr. Raghavi. Welcome, Mr. Rajkumar, to the forum. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, before we start, as I give my understanding of the topic today, let's align the people, the visitors today with the topic. And to align that, let's have a quick poll question and let's understand what are the understanding of the people for this topic today. So, Arul, can we have the poll question, please?
Yes. The poll question for today is, which of the following best describes your current leadership style? People in the meet can just choose your answer. Yes. Good.
So I believe this will give us more clarity even before start of the program, and by the end of the program, also we should be able to align with our understandings,
Yes.
right?
Good. Good. Yes.
So we have
Still
got
people are
8
yet to.
marks out of 17.
Yes.
Rest of the people can also respond. Another 10 seconds, and then Arul, you can share the poll results. Faster, faster. Almost there. 13 out of 18.
Okay, good.
So I hope Arul,
Yes.
you can go ahead
Yes.
with the result, please.
Okay, I'm sharing the result now. Yes. I hope the result is visible.
Right, is it?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So let's move forward. So welcome Dr. Raghavi and Mr. Rajkumar. Mr. Rajkumar, over to you, and let's welcome Dr. Raghavi.
Thank you, Mr. Pankaj. Am I audible?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, okay, thank you. It's a pleasure and privilege to be in the Leaders Connect, and I like the quote, leaders creating leaders. I love that. Okay, and thank you, Arul and Aishwarya, for giving me this opportunity, for inviting me here. And thank you so much. And again, it's a privilege to be with Raghavi, madam. I have gone through her profile, and it was very empowering to read the profile itself. To see the accolades what she has got, it's a long list. I was not able to. I should have some time to read it. Okay, thank you, ma'am. It's a privilege with you. And without much time, let's get into the panel discussion. And today it's about delegation versus empowerment in the organizations. And here I go with the first question.
So before you go on to the first question, yes, thank you. I was waiting for my turn to talk.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
Basically, thank you. No problem. Thank you, Leaders Connect, for having me. Dr. Aishwarya pulled me here this evening, and I'm glad to be here amidst all of these leaders here. I know, Balu sir, glad that I'm catching up with you here, sir. And thank you, Mr. Pankaj, for the warm context setting and all that. I love the poll thing. Let's get into it. Before that, thank you, Arul, for all the coordination. And yes, Mr. Rajkumar, yes, I've also heard about you and glad that you're moderating the session today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And I wish the Leaders Connect. I heard from Ivy madam saying that they're reaching the 200th session. All the best to the whole Leaders Connect team.
Yeah.
Let's start with the panel discussion now, and I'll go with the first question. And according to you, what is the basic difference between delegation and empowerment? And what is the role of these two things? What's the matter in leadership? What is the matter of these two things, delegation and empowerment in leadership?
Right. I love the topic again, delegation versus empowerment. Today the business landscape is so wide, it is evolving unprecedentedly. Leadership is also, going, into a profound transformation. That's what I see. The traditional command and control paradigm, has given a big way to a more dynamic approach, emphasizing both empowerment and delegation. Both are different strategies. They're not just buzzwords, but are the cornerstones towards effective leadership in this 21st century. That is the 21st century that we are living today, evolving today. Even though these two words are used interchangeably, Their nuances are different when viewed from, what do I say, the eagle eye view perspective of a leader. I think that's why today leaders connect. Leaders are wanting to know about the difference between, delegation and empowerment. Both have their unique place. So knowing the difference between the two will allow any leader to better prepare, take action on it. So, you know what the best practices recommend is that empower your team first, then think of delegation, not the other way around. Yeah. Delegation is the higher state of empowerment, to that delegation pair when you see. So now, do you know which of your team members are empowered and which ones you have delegated to? Do they know if they are empowered or delegated? So the answer is usually no. So I have been picking that, poll answers. I was wondering if I could, see a difference between the first question and the second question. But to my surprise, there was a small, very meager difference between the second question and the third question as answers. And fourth question, people clearly said, they don't, and it is 0% basically the fourth question. So, I could see a different perspective here. So naturally, the confusion is there. You might have delegated, but that doesn't mean you have empowered by default. Yeah. So the key point here lies in designing in a way that creates an organic sense of empowerment. So when you talk about delegation, you're assigning tasks with some accountability, whereas in empowerment, it is about granting autonomy, giving them the decision making, ability or opportunity. Delegation is mostly task oriented, giving up some specific responsibilities, and you also retain some control here over those decisions. You maintain that control over the task that's been delegated. But whereas in empowerment, you encourage the decision making here, you entrust some authority for those decisions, and you also relinquish some control, as well as you foster ownership. I think this is where the difference lies. Also that when it comes to delegation, you assigned predefined tasks or projects. The task expectations are also communicated in delegation, whereas in empowerment, I think you're more into encouraging the proactive role, where you share goals, you offer some support, encourage initiativeness. So delegation is more into accountability, whereas empowerment is more into individuals taking up responsibility within a scope. So that's what I see as a difference.
Thank you, ma'am. That gave us a clear understanding of delegation and empowerment. Delegation is all about having the control with us, and empowerment is giving them the autonomy, decision making, let them make the initiatives. Great thing. And if both are important, if both delegation and empowerment is important, how can a leader strike a working balance between these two things?
Yeah, navigating this balance between these two again can be tricky, and it needs discretion, no doubt about it. This will trigger to steer you creating a balanced environment. And what is that? What is that? How are we navigating towards this? This so-called balance, that which halfway? That is what I see. When delegating your team, you're wearing a mat. When empowering your team, you're wearing a leader's hat. So when it's all about manager's hat, you are assigning work to the team. You focus more on your to-do lists. Yeah, the completion of the tasks. You're allowing someone to represent you by acting on your behalf without truly giving them the authority. You're likely distributing the work that needs to be done, but it originates from laziness, lack of interest, or lack of time. Maybe we don't know. So you're issuing direct assignments that will offer maybe little opportunity to grow. So development is becoming a secondary thing here. You're likely to, be still focused at some level on control. If you're setting some upfront protocols, for what to do, how to do, and checking on every time on how the work is getting done. So through these actions, you're only empowering yourself. That's what I see, basically. Getting things done which you otherwise would have done, not able to be, doing it alone. So when you're wearing a leader set, I'm not, saying that delegating is low or empowerment is high, not that way. But it's tricky, but it needs discretion. That's what I see here. But when you wear this leader's hat, so you're giving the team enough space to represent themselves and take initiative. Yeah, you're giving them the decision making responsibility, the ownership. Your focus is more on enabling the person, giving them this. Them with competency, skills, confidence, capability, and whatnot. So development of the team, the growth is your primary focus in this. So you have a support, learn, apply all of these in place. Ensure that the team is succeeding. You're gaining a comfort level about the capability, the capacity of your team, because you're empowering them again and again because of that. So empowerment always comes from a noble intent, yeah, to make others grow. So focusing more on the person to ensure that this person becomes better and better. So this will automatically lead this person to, better execute the results. So that is what I see as a balance.
Okay. Nice. How can we strike the balance between? And there was a little bit general notion that delegation is a little bit inferior and empowerment is something more noble. And we have given a clear explanation that leader should be a person who has to have them wear the different hats at different period of time. And I like that. And the third question, if empowerment is very important, after empowering, we are going to delegate the work to the team members. Can too much of empowerment can lead to some disadvantages?
Yeah, kindness in leadership, it is always seen as a a superpower kind of thing. Yeah, it will foster trust. It will boost the morale. It will create a collaborative work environment. But even the most well-intentioned leaders can stumble when kindness gets more into action, and there's a counterproductive territory, because of that. So kindness doesn't mean letting go of discipline, yeah, or tough decision making. So every strength will have its shadow. When kindness is not balanced with clear boundaries, it will lead to inefficiency of the entire system. So my point here is, if obviously it will backfire when there's too much of empowerment happening, because it's people oriented, as I said. So we have to set boundaries. What are these boundaries? How do we know these boundaries, rather? So you praise your team, right? So praise your team, but don't overdo those praisings. It can lose its impact sometimes. This is the way we need to set boundaries when you're giving up some open communication, because encouraging open communication is important, but you need to avoid constant interruptions when you communicate. You can offer help whenever required, but you don't have to micromanage, poke your nose every time. You offer some flexible hours to your team members, but at the same time, you're not supposed to compromise on the deadlines, right? So these are certain things that leaders, will have to follow. That's what I see. And leaders will be approachable. I think all of you will agree to it. You will have to be approachable anytime, every time, but it cannot undermine the authority role of the leader. Often there's a word called empathy that's been used when it comes to leadership. This leader doesn't have empathy at all. He doesn't look at us in our shoes and all that. See, you can show empathy for personal issues I'm talking, but it has to have professional boundaries. This always has a different perspective, because when I was sitting at my first interview as an HR, taking an interview to a person, the advice that my previous boss said, my boss then, who was the vice president of the company, said, just see if this person is having plans for getting married, or plans for having a child and all that. So my mind went on a different blurred situation then. So those boundaries, I think we'll have to look into. We'll have to be patient with the mistakes, but not again tolerating the repeated negligence and blunders that happens in the team. And we need to give constructive feedback. But all these sugarcoating words, too much of things are not required. And another important thing that I see, I mean, a leader should have as a quality is the transparency. We have to be transparent with the decisions, but at the same time, when you overshare all the confidential information, then again, it's going to, backfire you. When it comes to work-life balance, when I say positive environment, flexible hours, and all that, work-life balance is something that last week also, I addressed a team of people on work-life balance. You have to promote work-life balance, but you cannot ignore the productivity goals, right? So offer mentoring, also give the team, some positive environment, but don't skip the necessary tough conversations. That's what I say here.
Thank you, ma'am. It was nice knowing that overdoing anything is very bad. அளவுக்கு மிஞ்சினால் அமிர்தமும் நஞ்சு. So empowerment, kindness, kindness. That doesn't mean that we are compromising on authority, we are compromising on discipline, we are compromising on the dates, target is exactly. And now I would like to ask you, how do delegation and empowerment of the team influence their motivation and accountability?
Yeah.
What is the influence of this on motivation and accountability?
Absolutely. I think both of it is important, as I said. One, in terms of enhancing your productivity, efficiency, these are the potent tools that I see, to enhance, efficiency in an organization. When leaders, trust their team members, with autonomy, with, give them a lot of motivation, give them all the accountability and all that, they delegate responsibilities. So they're unlocking the potential for the holistic collective productivity is what I say. So when you distribute tasks among a capable team, leaders will have to ensure that the work is completed. Yeah. Projects keep moving on seamlessly and goals are being achieved promptly. So it will happen. Productivity and efficiency there. And also about the skill enhancement, I think I have to say this, when you're entrusting with new responsibilities to the team, they are acquiring new skills. They're expanding their knowledge in terms of, their competency. There's a growth mindset where individuals are continuously, getting motivated to enhance their capabilities, basically. When we talk about motivation, I think it's very important. Motivation plays a big role when you foster a work environment where employees feel trusted, valued. They want to excel basically with motivation. And that is what we are all there listening to a lot of motivational speakers today. Yeah, I think when individuals are, given the autonomy to make decisions and take, ownership of their work, I think they're more likely to be engaged. They're more likely to be motivated. I'm not sure how many of you know this. Online retailer Zappos is known for its commitment to employee empowerment. Basically, the company gives its customer, the representatives of the customer service, basically, the autonomy to make decisions regarding the customers' refunds, returns, exchanges, without seeking the managerial approval. So this level of empowerment has resulted in exceptional customer service and a loyal customer base. Yeah. So succession planning will happen, leadership development is happening, change is happening, innovation is happening when you bring this delegation and empowerment, constant change, technological advancements, customers' preferences are varying. So I think it is important when you bring all this, automatically there's a change, there is an innovation. I think your GMAP that we use every day, the Gmail that you use every day, is a result of this. The companies that has, I'm talking to the Google, has encouraged employees to spend 20% of their work week on projects of their own choice. A practice that has led to developing these products, which is completely usable for us, very, very useful and helpful for us. So this approach will empower employees to pursue their ideas, will foster a culture of creativity, innovation. I think these are all the perks of having this delegation and empowerment in our organization is what I see.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. That was very empowering for us to know about these things. Empowering doesn't only mean kindness to everyone, getting them develop the technical skills, soft skills, and everything. And motivation doesn't mean that it's sugar-coated words. Motivation is all about making them feel valued. That's a very nice view I had from you. And knowing all the values of empowerment and delegation. And let us get into the actual thing, how to actually implement this in our organization. What are the practical steps that we can use to foster the culture of empowerment and delegation in our own organizations?
Right, ma'am. What you said is all fine. So how do we end of the day execute it? That's a question. I think that's there. Everybody everywhere talks about that. And a few best practices I think we'll have to follow. One, clear communication. I'll have to establish open communication. To ensure that everyone understands their roles and responsibilities. You have to communicate your expectations. Make sure the objectives, outcomes, deadlines, guidelines, or constraints, whatever is there, we'll have to, communicate it. Maintain, what do you call it? An open door policy for queries or concerns or questions, and ensure that you can offer guidance. You can always encourage regular check-ins or updates, ensuring that the team members are feeling supported, informed throughout the process, throughout the project. When I say goals, setting realistic goals, we know SMART goals. We're all leaders. I think we all have heard about SMART goals. Yeah. So establishing these goals that align with the team members' capabilities are also important. So that way, trust and support is also an important factor. When it is about trusting your team members to take the ownership of their tasks and decisions also matters. You're empowering them to share ideas. You're empowering them to challenge the existing process, take some risks, but calculated risks. You're encouraging creativity. You're encouraging innovation. See, end of the day, when team members feel trusted as part of your team, they are indirectly contributing to the organization's success. So when you recognize, when you celebrate their big and small achievements, you're reinforcing the sense of empowerment, the trust that we are talking about, the motivation that we are talking about. As I said, the support that you can always give them. So you're giving them a complex, project, a data analysis project. And if you're not giving them the ample data, what happens? If you're not giving them the resources, that support is very, very important when you have a team working under you. Also about assessing the competencies of your team members, very, very important. Matching their skills and the strengths or opportunities, anything for that matter. You do SWOT analysis, right? So do that SWOT analysis as part of your team. See where mentorship is required. Keep harnessing the power of empowerment and delegation through these career aspirations. So this will enable you to decide on how to empower these team members basically. And if required, do one-on-one meetings with them, discuss their career goals, their skills, their areas of interest. You also can foster a learning environment, yeah, nurturing a culture where you can have a continuous learning. Leaders Connect is like that. Every Wednesday, if you're all, I heard it from Arul that, people from different parts of India gather. So I think that's continuous learning. Yeah, that's improvising, a growth mindset that you are bringing about. So same way with your team, you celebrate both the successes, the learning opportunities that are arising from any challenge per se, or any setbacks per se. So you will have to emphasize the importance of learning, continuous learning, to your team members. Give them the right feedback on their experiences with delegation and empowerment. Yeah, also, it's important that, as I said, promoting a growth mindset, very important. Resilience, adaptability, all these are essential personal and professional traits, is what I see. So, grant them the autonomy. I'm talking about the employees, the team members, whoever they are, of what age they are, from what biography and demography they are. Grant the autonomy within their delegated responsibility. I would say encourage them to find the creative solutions, experiment, learn from their experiences. Also create a very safe environment for risk taking and growth, because both are important when it comes to delegation and empowerment. So these are some best practices that I would say is part of delegation and empowerment.
Thank you so much, madam. I believe that for every person, experience is brought to them. Everyone takes a decision in both in professional and personal life, depends on experience. And thank you so much for sharing your insights from your own experience, the divine thing from your own experience. I'm sure that all the leaders here would have got more insights how they can practically implement their delegation and empowerment in their own organizations. And thank you so much, ma'am. And I would like to end up with Tirukural. Back in Tamil, we have a Tirukural called, which clearly gives what is delegation, what is a leader is before 2000 years back. இதனை இதனால் இவன் முடிக்கும் என்றாய்ந்து அதனை அவன் கண் விடல். இதனை இதனால் இவன் முடிக்கும். The leader should have the knowledge. The leader is not a person doing all the tasks. The leader is a person who is having all the information, all the awareness of what kind of person can do what kind of tasks, what kind of skill set she should have, he or she should have. And that's a great thing. And would like to end up this session with that plural again. இதனை இதனால் இவன் முடிக்கும் என்றாய்ந்து அதனை அவன் கண் விடும். Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Leaders Connect. And definitely Dr. Ravi madam has added up to your thing, creating leaders, a leader creating leaders, and she has definitely as a part of it. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Rajkumar, for taking up our discussion so well. And that too, very timely discussion you have been able to complete. And Dr. Raghavi, thanks for simplifying between delegation and empowerment, right? So let's see what people have understood, and we'll have a quick quiz, okay? And we'll check what people have understood from the learning so far. So here I would like to invite our quiz leader, Miss Rashmi. So Miss Rashmi, over to you for a quick quiz. And the winner of today's quiz is going to get a book named Dear You Will Be Loved by author Mr. Ronak Meswani. So Arul, can you please show the book? Yes. So that's the book the winner is going to get. So over to you, Miss Rashmi, for a quick quiz, please.
Hi, everybody. Do I have the permission to ask a theory question and an example? One will be a theory question, one will be an example. Is it okay? Two questions or only one question? Arun?
Ideally, it should be one question, okay? Because ideally, it should be one question, and it should not be the result should not be controversial. I mean, the people should not controverse on that I have given the right answer. So it's better if we have the simple form of the question. That will help.
Okay. I'm asking the example part of it.
Yes, can you please the question also, Rashmi ma'am?
Okay, which company fosters autonomy among employees to serve the customers better? Madam mentioned one company during the discussion. That company fosters more autonomy in the company, and that's how it's doing well with customer service. So I'm asking you the name of the company.
People are thinking any good.
Do I leak any answers?
Any options?
Yeah, should I give options?
That will help.
Yeah, that will help. Yes.
Yeah, it starts with Z. Yes, yes. Okay, thank you, Alagu. Thank you. Yeah, you put the answers in the chat. Yes. Zepto. No, it's not Zepto. It is double P. Zep.
Oh, Usha, you are here. Glad to meet you here. And you can't say the wrong answer.
Did we get the winner?
I don't remember the name. I know it starts with Z. There is a R in it.
Very
That's-
tricky question, Rashmi ji.
No, it's just an example. I mean,
Zapro or some. I don't know the name. I heard it for the first time, so I don't know.
So I think today we don't have any winner. Today Sukumar Ajish is not there, I believe. Okay.
He's there. He's there.
How come he missed? Okay. So I believe that the book remains with us today, Arul. So Rashmi ji, you only give the answer now.
Suppose, okay.
Somebody is coming up.
No, Rashmi is given the answer.
Oh, okay. Rashmi. Well, sir, you missed on that.
but I was in a dilemma because I had a theory question also, which gave 4 options. But I thought that giving an example would register with people more, and it would be helpful so that people can go back and read about the company and how it's working, That's the only reason. It's not that who won or we didn't get an answer. Now people know this company, so people can go back and read about it. That's all was my intention.
That adds value.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much for doing it so religiously. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Perfect. Okay. So we leave the forum open for quick 3 questions. So anybody who would like to ask question to our guest, please unmute yourself and you can ask quick question to Dr. Raghavi. So we have visitors who want to ask. You can unmute yourself and we will give you a chance to speak to our guest. Arul, can you check? Is there anyone?
Okay. Usha here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Ms. Usha, please.
Hi. Hi, Pankaj. Hi, everyone. Hi, Arul. Thank you for sending the invite on time. I logged in just on the spur of the moment. Okay. Thank you, Rashmi, for the quiz. Raghavi, over to you. Good evening. Formal good evening to you, Raghavi. So, Raghavi, I want to ask you a question here. When you say empowerment, the delegation, no, where no empowerment but only delegation in your experience?
Thank you. Thanks for raising this actually. My story goes a long way. I am an HR turned social entrepreneur. I learned empowerment only when I can say this. I can say this proudly that when I started becoming a social entrepreneur or getting into social projects, I learned what is empowerment, because empowerment, it necessarily requires some level of delegation, but not all instances of delegation will produce an empowered team. That is what I learned here. To drive empowerment as a leader, I had to change myself on how the other person leads or how the other person works. Yeah. And both at the team level and the organizational level, because when I only delegate, things doesn't work. Okay, so as I see, delegation is a subset of empowerment, and I deal with lot of people, whether it is differently abled or women or anything, any community for that matter. I work on the transformation of people. So my community got bigger and bigger as I moved from my HR leader's role to or a social entrepreneur role. So now this has helped me to gain a difference between this delegation and empowerment, and I can proudly say that.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Raghavi.
Thank
Great.
you.
So we have Ms. Uma Parmeshwari. You can unmute yourself and ask the question. And then post to Ms. Uma, we have Ms. Alagu. Acha, no, Alagu is not there. Okay, so we can have Ms. Uma Parmeshwari. You can ask your question.
Yeah, thank you, Pankaj sir. And my question to Dr. Raghavi is like, I think there is a thin line between this delegation and empowerment, because not all delegation can lead to empowerment, because sometimes the leader should have the control of what is being done at end of the end result. So how do you see this? What's your the inputs on these lines?
So your question is how to deal with this?
No, not like how to deal with it. Was my stand like sounds good or how it is? Because I feel that not every time the leader can empower the subordinates.
Right.
There are some places where the leader has to hold the accountability for the end result.
Absolutely.
Sometimes it's only like what has to be done needs to be done, not then any kind of extra effort or any less effort needs to be put inside. So in that case, we can't always empower people. That's my point. Like whenever there is empowerment is required, we can do it. So this is my stand when it comes to empowerment and delegation. I just want to know your inputs and insights on this.
Fair enough. I think that's what I said. In the beginning, are you empowering or are you delegating? Number one, are you knowing it? First of all, does yourself know that what you're doing to your team? At times, I may sound a little hard when there is a mistake happening, amidst the team members. But I can't go say, oh, come on, next time you can change it. You can't do that, right? End of the day, you have to face the business, you have to run the business. So kindness doesn't work here. But delegation, again, is a subset of empowerment. That's what I say. When you do this empowerment process, you also delegate, but at the same time, when there is a requirement for you to pamper the team, you do. At times when you're accountable, in terms of guiding them at a little, a louder voice, you will have to do, no doubt about it. So that's why I said you have to praise, but you can't overdo it. You can't lose the impact of what is to be said. Yeah, I think I answered your question.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Uma, and thank you, Dr. Raghavi. Is there anyone who would like to ask a
Yeah, we have
question?
Mr. Paul here. Yes.
Oh, Mr. Paul, welcome. You can ask your question, and then we have Ms. Rashmi.
We should not we should not raise the voice. That is the understanding. Just now a conversation. My question is, even though we give empowerment or delegation, the expected outcome is not, result is not there. So what are the things need to be focused apart from empowerment and delegation?
Apart from empowerment and yeah, I think there's so many things. I don't know what business you are into, and it depends on industry, it depends on persons, it depends on situation and all that.
No, it is the industry of car industry. We are giving a RTC training, we are giving soft skill training, we are empower the entire line to take care of that line. Any problem, come and tell me. We are giving everything to the employees, but the expected outcome is not coming out. So we are facing a lot of problems.
Just on a lighter note, there are many OBT trainers here. Let us all take them to a resort and give them a good motivation. Okay, on the other side, I think this is there with every organization, especially manufacturing industry. I keep visiting a lot of manufacturing industry. Beyond trainings, beyond workshops, there's something else, because these people maybe are from different parts of India. They migrate, they work here, they may be in hostels. They mingle with a lot of different languages, peers and supervisors. There could be many reasons. We'll have to understand all these kind of the reasons that are contributing to their inefficiency. Rather, I think some surveys would help you, some one-on-ones may help you, some mentoring sessions may help you. Not everything can be changed within a training umbrella and all that. Sometimes a pat on the back will help them. I think you need to sit with the person. I mean, you can ask me, madam, how can you sit with a 20,000 odd organization? I mean, like, there are hundreds and thousands of people. How do you go? But I think that is why we have this happiness survey, satisfaction survey, so many other things that you can bring forward in understanding your team. When I mentioned I mean, having short of time, I actually cruxed many things, but there are many points that we'll have to discuss. So understanding your team is very important. My boss once said, that is how I still follow. Knowing every employee of the organization as an HR is very important. So because I am a HR doesn't mean I can only work on data and reports and all that. No, though I'm a people person, from the very perspective of their career growth and their motivation level, their satisfaction inside the organization, I think all of these are important. So I also say this, I pass on the baton to the leaders also here on the same thing. Understand your team, understand what is going wrong, fix that. I think that's what is my perspective.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for your input. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much, Dr. Raghavi, and I hope, Mr. Paul, you got what you were expecting from her. So, anyways, we have our last question, and that goes to Ms. Rashmi. So, Ms. Rashmi, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yeah,
and I believe our panel discussion leader, Mr. Ram Kumar, also want to say or speak something, right? So, anyways, we give them an opportunity to do it. Over to you, Ms. Rashmi.
Yeah, thank you for an opportunity that you're giving me to ask this question. Dr. Raghavi, it was a wonderful discussion. You had so much to mention in such a short period of time, and you did it really very well. My thing was, instead of delegation versus empowerment, I think so it is a combination of both. If I'm not wrong, it is not one against the other, but is both together. Is that what we are getting at through this discussion?
I'll say that in a statement again. See, empowerment does necessarily require some level of delegation. So you understand delegation is a subset of empowerment.
Yeah, you said that, yeah.
But not all instances of delegation will bring an empowered team. As Ms. Uma was mentioning, at times you have to, raise your voice and talk, or maybe you have to, say something in a different way. But, that doesn't, sugarcoat the person, empower the person per se. So how are you driving this? So delegation is a part of empowerment. That's what I see.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Okay, so Mr. Ram Rajkumar.
Yeah, Arun Rajkumar. Yeah, thank you so much, Pankaj. Quick question on a lighter note. Out of curiosity, what was your answer for the poll question, madam?
Poll question, huh?
Yeah, yes. Out of curiosity.
Second, is that question visible or in the chat box, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I have this. Which of the following best describes my current leadership? Yes. I think, I use a mix of both depending on the situation. So that's how I do, because I know the difference. I wouldn't say I'm still figuring it out. I can't say that here today. So the first and second, I definitely had that oscillation. Because very first time itself, my boss gave me this leadership role to manage a fellow leader who was almost of my age or 2 years lesser than me, younger than me. I never understood what is leadership then. I'm talking way back, 15 years ago. But I figured it out, and I think both are important. That's what I see.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So here I would like to invite our summary leader. So the summary leader for the day, we have Dr. Ishwarya to summarize the session for the day. Over to you, Miss Dr. Ishwarya, for the summary, please.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, all. Raghavi ma'am, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm not taking much more time. I'm summarizing the point in a short, quick manner. So, business landscape is too wide. These are cornerstones to the 21st century. Knowing the difference between these two will help us to act as perfect. Delegation is high position of empowerment. Delegation is also a task oriented. Praising your team with setting boundaries is needed. Empathy plays a major role for a leader. It is responsible of a leader to give constructive feedback rather than giving sugarcoating words or rather than giving motivational words. And giving motivational words will not work with the employees, but their mistakes have to be pinpointed in a constructive way. Make sure the communication with the team is good. Everything should be communicated to them in each and every way. Setting smart goals alone will not work. We have to know their potential and we have to allocate the work. Do SWOT analysis to your team so that you can allocate your smart goals. You can align your smart goals with the skill set of your employees. And not only giving growth mindset is important, but also it should be very consistent manner. And professional traits like resilience, adaptability should be given to the employees. And it is responsible of a leader and HR knowing each and every employee. And at the outset, I'm just summarizing all those things as empowerment does require some level of delegation. Delegation is part of engagement. Thank you, ma'am. I end up my summary over here.
Excellent, Dr. Ishwarya, for really summarizing it so well and in just a couple of minutes. So thank you so much. And I believe you're already at 7:24. So here I would like to invite Miss Uma for the vote of thanks, please. And then we'll have a thanking video. So over to you, Miss Uma, for the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Pankaj sir, for this opportunity. And myself, Uma, I'm HR professional with over a decade of experience in HR, and I have been part of Leaders Connect since its inception. Would like to take the privilege of thanking the panelists today. For me, the best lines I could say is that when delegation, leaders wear a manager's hat focusing on task completion, while empowerment requires wearing a leader's hat to develop team members' potential. That's one of the key takeaways for me in this session. So let me quickly share that again the purpose of this community. Leaders Connect 360 is a hybrid model leadership community where every Wednesday from 6:30 p.m. to 7:15 p.m. we invite a leader who is a master in their field to provide solutions for our real-time leadership challenges, much like the valuable experience we had today from our guest, Dr. Raghavi. Additionally, every last week of the month, we invite an author to share the knowledge and insights from their book. Please follow our social media platforms to get updates about our weekly episodes and quarterly events. Joining our community is very simple. Just click on the social media links shared in the chat box. It gives me immense pleasure to thank our guest, Dr. Raghavi, and our panel discussion leader, Mr. Aram Rajkumar, and moderator, Mr. Pankaj, for investing their valuable time in sharing their experiences and insights with us. Guests and everyone in attendance, kindly accept our gesture of thanks through a thank you video. We request our members and visitors to stay tuned till the end, as we will give an opportunity to introduce ourselves, which will help us network and know better. Thank you, everyone. And once again, I thank Dr. Raghavi and Mr. Aram Rajkumar for this wonderful show. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ms. Uma, for the vote of thanks. So, Arun, can we have a final thanking video, please? Thank you so much, Arul. Thank you so much, Dr.